Hello everyone and welcome to another video. So today I wanted to do a quick unboxing, setup, and initial review here of the Haulmaster heavy duty folding cargo carrier. So as you can see, this is a cargo carrier that plugs into the hitch of your truck or van or car or whatnot, and has the ability to fold up and down and store cargo on it. So I picked this guy up at Harbor Freight. They're usually around $95, but as you know, they always have coupons, so I actually got this for around 20% off, so around $75 and whatnot. So you can kind of see, pretty standard box, nothing really special about it. Here on the back side of the box, it's just got another picture showing a generator. It's got some information about how much this thing weighs. We'll take a closer look at that later here, but it does claim here that it's 22.4 kilograms, which is around 50 pounds. And yeah, I believe that. I actually, if you can believe that, I actually brought this home on my bicycle. I actually strapped it to the back of a giant backpack and tried to haul that home. That was not a lot of fun. But this is what the box looks like. Nothing really special. So why don't we go ahead and open him up and see what's inside. And we'll see all the pieces before we try to get it all set up. Okay, so that's one. Let's see here. Bunch of tape everywhere. There we go. Okay, cut this side open. Okay, maybe I'll flip this around so we can open it up easier. Okay, so looks pretty simple. Nothing too fancy. Looks like, okay, here's one half of it. Let's go ahead and put this over here. Then down on the bottom, looks like we've got more. Okay, some snap twist tie. Okay, it's all right. At least it's packaged quite nicely, so I don't think it hopefully wouldn't have gotten damaged or bent in transportation. Okay, here's the second half. Put that up there. Okay, we've got some other parts. I'm sure we're gonna have to assemble this in a little bit, so I'll stick these off to the side. Let's see, what else do we get? Okay, empty cardboard, don't need that. Broken twist tie, don't need that. Okay, let's see. Whole bunch of stuff inside this box. Probably more components. So as you can see, it is assemble yourself. Okay, yeah, a lot of parts here. Looks like this is a 2-inch hitch receptacle, so this fits 2-inch receivers. Okay, and then I'm guessing this is a whole bunch of hardware in this smaller box. Let's take a look. Yep, okay. Yep, looks like the folding mechanism. And then some more parts and hardware. So great, let's go ahead and move this out of the way. Okay, and I think that's pretty much everything. Of course, we've got nice assembly instructions. Okay. So this is what we've got here in the whole setup. All right. So I think the next steps is to go ahead and get it assembled. All right, so let's take a look at the fit. So it fits quite snugly into the 2-inch receiver, although it does seem to wiggle a little bit, but of course that could be either a product of my Hitch receiver being a little bit too wide. But you know, you see you do have some lateral motion. The twisting motion is okay as well. You can see that it twists a little bit in the Hitch, but for the most part, when it's in here, it seems fairly sturdy. I mean, I can stand on this, so I'm about 160 pounds-ish. I guess that's an optimistic call. But you can see when I stand on this here in the center, it's totally fine. I can also kind of stand off to the side, and actually, it's theoretically okay, but you can kind of see how much it will deflect and deform depending on if you don't load this exactly evenly. But for the most part, seems okay as long as you're sitting here in the middle and you put the most of the load right over the main load-bearing element. Seems pretty good. All right, so let's take a moment to talk about dimensions. So the exterior dimensions of the carrier from edge to edge is about 60¼ inches. And then from front to back, again, the exterior dimensions is about 19¼ to the edge of this reflector. Now, you probably care a little bit more about the interior dimensions. So again, side to side, this is advertised as a 60-inch carrier, and yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's also advertised as a 19-inch carrier, which again, that is what you get in most spots on the interior dimension, but what makes this interesting is, I guess in an absolute worst case, these bolt heads and the nuts are on the inside. So at some locations, it actually gets as narrow as, it looks like about, yeah, 18 3/8. So it's not quite as narrow or as deep as you might want. I guess in terms of height here, you can see it's 2¼ inches high to the top of this rail. Now, the other dimension that you're probably very interested in is from the center of the hitch pin to the outer edge, because that's basically how much extra length does this thing add to your entire rig. So let's take a look at that right now. So if I measure that distance from the center of the pin to out here, that is about, that's actually 32 inches exactly. So this is going to add 32 inches from the center line of your hitch mount. Okay, and oh, I guess maybe while we're talking about that hitch mount, interestingly, that pin didn't come with the kit. So let me see if I can bring the camera a little bit closer so you can see exactly which pin I'm talking about. Right, the pin, where is it? It's kind of hard to see with the sun here, but right, the pin that you're going to need to use to secure the cargo carrier to your hitch, that did not come with a kit. So I hope you have one of these lying around, or maybe from another system, because you're going to need to supply that, because it doesn't come with the system. All right, and one other dimension I guess I forgot to take or show was the hitch. Top of the basket from the top of the hitch here is about 2½ inches. So if you have a low clearance door, you might want to be cognizant of that. So for example, in this case with my Ford Transit, it's actually pretty close, but as you can see right here, no problem in the down configuration. You can easily open the doors and there's no interference when it's in the down configuration. Now, that being said, I want to show you one of the reasons why I decided to go with this cargo carrier rather than some others. So, as we talked about earlier, it is 32 inches from the center of the hitch pin to the edge of the cargo carrier. Now, I actually live in a place where I need to ride the ferry boat a lot, and your entire rig has to be less than 22 feet long in order to qualify for cheaper ferry fares. Now, this, when it's sticking out 32 inches off the back, well, a little less than 32 inches off the back bumper, but long story short, this is too long to make it under that limit. So I would have to pay extra money if I wanted to drive onto the ferry with this. And you can see it's a lot hanging off the back of the car. So this hitch is actually pretty cool, because what you can do is just pull a pin here, pull the cotter pin, and then pull out this one pin, and then the whole hitch will just swivel up. And then you can replace the pin down at the bottom, and it takes a little bit of wiggling, but it should hopefully, come on, where is it? Oh, there it is. Yeah, there it is. Goes in, you just put the cotter pin back in, and there you go. Now it's in the upright configuration. Full disclosure, it's not the most secure, tight fitting. So you can see here, it will wiggle around quite a bit in the up configuration, but it's secure effectively. Now, instead of 32 inches from the center of the pin to the back. We can measure it. I think it's around 11, yeah, maybe 11.5 inches from the center of the pin to the farthest rear edge. So now it should fit onto the ferry boat or smaller spaces, no problem. So some of the things that maybe aren't the best, you can kind of see that. I guess this is kind of one of those situations where maybe you get what you pay for, but you know, this is not the most expensive cargo carrier, and you can kind of see that some of the paint is already chipping off, and I've had this for not very long, only driven this a few hundred miles, and that's already coming off, so I'll just have to touch that up so it doesn't rust. Yeah, but otherwise I'm pretty happy with it. Let's load this thing up with some equipment just so you can kind of get a rough idea of what it looks like. All right, so one of the major use cases I wanted for the rack 4 was to take garbage cans up to the top of the road on garbage day, and then recycling as well. So recycling, I actually have to put this in a specific orientation because it's actually too fat. It's barely big enough, so you can see, so it barely fits in right there. And then, you know, if you got more stuff you need, I don't know, box of other stuff, seems to fit great. All right, so here it is loaded up. I've got a box here filled up with firewood and other miscellaneous items here. So it's actually kind of heavy, much heavier than these bikes. I've got 3 kid bikes on this. You can kind of see everything fits quite nicely on the hitch. All right, so there you have it. This is the Haulmaster folding cargo carrier. I'm pretty happy with it so far. It's held up for this initial first trips, and I'll keep you posted how it holds up over time. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you at the next one. Bye.